Marco Spasiano.
No matter what, no matter how good I look, like I'll always compare myself to, I'm still that fat, skinny fat, like weak kid. I used to be Tren. Dude, Tren is intense, dog. Like I felt like I just wanted to have sex all day, every day. My life's over at 15. Like I can't do this. I struggle with depression.
Damn.
Yeah. Nobody tells you about this negative side effects. With your head, with your body. All I ever heard was test will save your life. Test will, dude, you'll gain muscle. I'm calling them crying. I love you so much, man. You're my best friend, dog. I love you. I liked how I looked naturally better than the way I look now, either.
You should definitely try to get some ECG on your hand just in case.
Do you agree with anything that I said? Yeah, I just tell people all the time, like, people want to look up to people that they look like. It's just human nature. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say it later, so we save like all the good shit for the podcast. You can clip and be like, Marco's a racist.
Wait, what?
No, I'm playing. But
okay.
bet.
Wow. Sorry. Yo, I have this like terrible allergies. I've had allergies like I've been like allergic, like a level 5 allergy to grass and trees since I was like a child. So I think honestly I'm probably from like Krypton or something.
What's level 5? Like the worst?
I'm pretty sure level 5 is the worst. I did one of those little like needle tests.
Yeah, the blood cloak things?
Yeah, like on my back.
Yeah.
And like I think cats was like 3 or 4, dogs was like 2 or 3, peanuts was like 3 or something, and then like grass and trees and shit was like 5.
You can't have nuts?
Like I can have
peanuts?
nuts.
Okay, just not peanuts?
Yeah, but I like, dude, one time I ate peanut butter regularly to like build a tolerance.
Yeah.
Like took a tiny little bit here and there. And then I ended up being able to eat peanut butter completely fine. So for 2-3 months, I was just eating straight jars of peanut butter with carrots. And then I realized like there's something wrong with my digestion. This diarrhea is probably because I'm still fucking allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, dude. But peanut butter's addicting. I've had binges where I've gone through like family size jars of peanut butter. Like not like the little like, oh, get a little bit of peanut. I'm talking family size jars in a sitting with like granola.
They're so good.
Like I'm not allergic to anything. I wish I was allergic to peanut butter.
Why?
Because then I would be lean. Like I'm on an all natural diet now. I switched 4 days ago. I've been 4 days good. Like I'm trying to build up like every day, kind of work towards getting better and better at it and like learning more about it. But I cut out all processed shit except I'm allowed 1 energy drink a day or a scoop of pre-workout. So if I have an energy drink, don't take pre-workout, drink a coffee. And then if I, have a scoop of pre-workout, same thing, no energy drink.
Yeah.
And then a couple days a week, I'm allowed to go to Starbucks and get like one of those fancy drinks, like one of the IG Thought Girl drinks. Like,
that's like one of the Q&As.
15 or my drinks.
Yeah, some random kid asked that.
I go to Starbucks all the time, but I try to get sponsored by them at one point. I had like, bro, I posted like 3 or 4 videos in a week for Starbucks, and every single one had like anywhere between 1 to like 4 million views. Damn. And I was like, dog, y'all owe me a check.
Because you were just like, what, talking about like kind of what drink you make and shit?
Yeah, like how to get drinks that are low calorie and still taste good to help lose weight. And I was like, there's 200,000 collective saves.
Bro.
If that's 200,000 orders times like a $7 drink, that's got to be like $1.4 million in sales for Starbucks. Like, sauce me $25K.
You could be the lord of teaching white women, coaching them.
I used to tell people to go to Starbucks and then walk around the home goods section of Target in like a college town, and you'll find girls there.
That's not what I'm.
If you have no game, get a Starbucks drink and go to like the candles or home goods section, and you'll find a girl in a college town
With your Starbucks drink.
Yeah.
So what does the Starbucks drink do for you?
It's a
magnet? They just smell it?
Yeah, they just know they smell the iced frappuccino. No, I'm kidding, don't get those. But they smell the sweet cream cold foam and then they just come running. But
okay.
Yeah. What other questions did we get as far as like things? Because we'll like what's it called? How do you usually run your podcast? I don't really run it. I just talk. I just sit down and talk, and I sometimes I'll write down some questions on like on my notes, just as like things that I'm interested in with this person that I've always wanted to ask or that I think are curious questions of mine. And then just randomly, if I like think about, I don't know, we just start talking about stuff, and then like the question comes up, I ask the question, and then at the end of the podcast, I just bring up the Q&A and we just run through some questions too. So yeah, that's sick. Because I've never been on like a structured podcast before, and I feel like those are always like interview instead of like just conversation, which I feel like always flows better.
Yeah, I think the conversation flows better too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interview. I mean, they both have their place.
Yeah.
They're both really cool.
If you were interviewing like Donald Trump, it'd be like an interview.
Maybe.
Would you ever want to do podcasts with like political figures or like people in the public eye, like legitimate celebrities, not like fitness people or like influencer people? I'm talking like grade A level. Like they say you get Jennifer Aniston on a podcast.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I love Jennifer
That'd
Aniston.
be awesome. I'm down.
I love Jennifer Aniston, dog. That's like my celebrity crush.
I love her. Good. I would have Avril Lavigne on my podcast.
Dude, I was listening to her music on the way over in the Hummer.
Dude, she's going to play in LA in May. I'm going to go.
How much are tickets, dude? I want to go see.
Inglewood. I don't know.
I was just in Inglewood.
But she's priceless. What?
There's a casino there, dude. We should go. In Inglewood? Yeah. I just went. It's Inglewood Hollywood Casino.
Okay.
But dude, they have weird rules in California. You have to like pay $1 for every hand you play. I'm like addicted to gambling.
Okay, for sure. Though, for real though, why is it that the coffee actually attracts the woman in Home Goods?
Oh,
or something like that.
I don't know. I just think that. I mean, I've never used this work before, so I've never tried the tactic. I just tell people to do it. But I think that if a girl sees you with a Starbucks cup, you're more approachable because you have common ground. Because like, bro, guys don't really be going to Starbucks and getting those long fancy drinks.
They don't think like, damn, this guy must be gay or something.
Probably. Girls like gay guys, dude. Every single hot girl I've ever known love gay dudes.
That's the first step in.
If you want to get hot girls, pretend to be gay. I guarantee you they'll all want you to the friend group. And then you're just like, oh my God, like I might not be gay.
I might not be.
I don't know. Like maybe you can convince me otherwise. That's going to be on the internet.
Good thing over 90% of my following is men.
Yeah, guys, try that.
Speaking of, by the way, guys, I am with Marco Spasiano. Spasiano?
Yeah, that's cool. Spasiano, yeah.
What is it actually?
Spasiano.
Spasiano?
Yeah, okay. Marco Spasiano.
Spasiano. What ethnicity is that?
Or Italian.
Country? Italian? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The jacked Italian.
Dude, I'm trying to move away from that a little bit, actually.
Why?
Because I just turned 24 and I feel like if, aside from all the other comments I make sometimes, I want to be a little bit more mature and take myself a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm still not going to get rid of the name, but I'm going to try to go a lot more towards just being known as Marco.
I see.
Because I feel like it's a lot more like respectable to an older audience. Like as we age, our audience also ages. Like we can't, you know, when I first started, maybe my audience was 18. Now that average demographic is probably 21.
Right.
So as I become more mature, so do they. So I feel like I'm trying to move away from that name a little bit.
So my opinion is actually, I slightly disagree. And I think that it doesn't make a difference.
Really?
I think the name becomes a trademark for you. So if it's something that's like catchy, like the Jacked Italian or whatever, it's easier for people. It resonates with people better. And one example is More Plates, More Dates. He's never going to lose that name. And dude's professional as fuck. He's just, what podcast has he been on now, bro? Freaking,
he went on Joe Rogan, right?
But he just went on Jordan Peterson's. He just went on freaking Peter Attia's. Just went on some amazing podcasts.
Chris Bumstead was also just on Jordan Peterson's podcast too.
Bro,
that's cool.
He got shit on his comment section for.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited.
I didn't watch it, but no, in the Instagram, his Instagram post.
Chris's?
Yeah, when he posted that he went on Jordan Peterson's, there was like a bunch of people saying like Big L and all this shit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember the demographic is of. People are all, no one's ever going to be happy is what I realize. Social media wise, no matter what decision you make, nobody's going to be happy.
Considering how political he is too, just like when everyone sees him at like such a hard like right, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be, I understand that.
Yeah. I feel like things are only going so far right just because of how so far left things went. And eventually we'll kind of even out and move more towards the middle. Cause like when someone's so crazy one way, you're going to have the silent majority that kind of stays in the middle and doesn't say anything in fear of judgment. And then you have the people that don't care about getting judged at all and just be like, nah, I don't agree with that at all. I'm going to go the complete opposite direction and then just pull apart. And then I feel like eventually it kind of acts like a rubber band. People will kind of snap back to normal. Because some people are fucking insane, dog. Some of these things, these laws they're trying to pass are fucking nuts. We need a reset. We need a global reset.
Kind of extreme, huh?
Bro, a little, kind of. I can't even get a flavored Zin in California, but I can change my gender at 14. Crazy. I can't get a flavored nicotine. No, dude.
Why?
I don't know. So I was watching some podcasts about the effects of nicotine on your brain and like how in small dosage it could be a nootropic. So like a 3 milligram Zin pod, whatever, you know, a couple a day see how it works. I was like, I'm going to give it an experiment, try it out. And they only have menthol flavor. And I'm like, menthol? I'm not going to try that. That's disgusting. So I was in Washington and I got spearmint and peppermint, and it was good. I felt kind of smooth. It wasn't overwhelming for me after a couple days. And I came back and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple more. Dude, California passed a law, no flavors.
Why?
No flavors. I don't know.
Is there none. Some kind of chemical
it's
with the
like
flavors?
Smooth, which is nothing. And then just disgustingness, menthol flavor. Like at that point, you smoke a cigarette, which is gross. I'll never smoke a cigarette, dog.
Okay, this is something I need to look up later then.
Yeah, try it. Try a Zyn, dude. I used to be so against it, but I don't know. I kind of like it a little bit.
Dude, they're gas.
Yeah,
I've never bought them myself, but my friends will always have them. And
that's kind of my rule too. I'll never
borrow one.
I'll never buy it. I'll never buy it. Except for now, I tried. They were like, no, dude, don't buy that shit.
It's the universe.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you start this whole thing, this whole social media journey and everything else that you're doing?
So back in 2020, I started posting fitness and fashion and like reselling, but mostly just fashion and reselling for shoes and clothes. So I'd go to Goodwill and do thrift hauls and be like, hey guys, I'm going to a thrift store today. My budget's $10. I'm going to try to turn it into $100 by reselling the stuff. And I'd go and I'd get like 3-4 t-shirts, a hoodie, a pair of pants. And then I'd go back to school in college where I went to school in Florida and post it on my Instagram page I had made for selling clothes and sell it. And I would document the whole thing. And then I started moving into shoes, going to the Nike outlet, getting shoes at a discount from all the employees. I'd like trade my Adderall for their employee discount. So I had 30 to 40 milligram extended release Adderall. And I'd say, hey guys, like I don't take my Adderall and you guys aren't going to buy enough shoes this month anyway for yourselves. I'll give you an Adderall if you save all the good returns for me and then use your employee discount to buy it. So I had like 3 or 4 kids at the Nike outlet that I had their phone number. They text me while I'm in class like, hey bro, we just got Travis Scott Jordan 1s in. If I use my employee discount, you'll get it for $110. Give me an Adderall and the money for it. And then you can sell it. Bro, I was selling them for like $1,000 sometimes. I'd make like $1,000 profit. A lot of the times it was like not Travis's. It was like random pair of Jordan 1s, random pair of Jordan 11s. And I'd make $50 to like $150 per pair of shoes sometimes. And then I'd get bulk orders or I'd buy on Facebook Marketplace. And I started posting that on started posting that on TikTok. People were like, hey bro, you're pretty jacked. Start posting your workouts. I think I started the first page in August. Thanksgiving, I posted my first fitness TikTok and it was a joke. I was like, hey guys, if you don't want to gain weight on Thanksgiving, chew your food up and then spit it out when your family's not looking. So if you want that cake, chew it up, spit it out in a napkin and throw it in the garbage when they're not paying attention. Somehow randomly, this terrible fitness eating disorder advice got like 60 or 70,000 views. And I started to gain like kind of a following. And then I had the first page that people were like, hey, he's posting fitness content. I'll go follow him there. I hit 10K 2 weeks later on my birthday. On my 21st birthday, I hit 10K like by myself with one of my homies in a bar. By the end of the month, I had 40K. By the middle of January, I had like 120. By like the end of February, dog, I had like 700K.
Jesus Christ.
My TikTok just kept going crazy. And I started off making some really like harsh things. Like I would openly fat shame people and call people out. Not like openly fat shame as in like you, but openly fat shame as in like, this is not acceptable. Not you can't do this, but don't tell other people that this is okay. Like don't tell, like a big thing that I blew up on was like getting pissed off that like Lizzo and shit was normalizing obesity for young impressionable women. Because they're going to feel comfortable in their skin at 500-600 pounds. Like, oh, it's okay. Like Lizzo told me this is empowering. Like you're going to die at 30. And I would make videos like that and say like, stop normalizing this shit. I'm not accepting this. This is disgusting. Like telling people that it's okay to be like on their deathbed at a young age due to obesity. And this is normal and empowering and sexy. Like get that shit out of here. Bro, those videos would go insane. And eventually I made a video calling someone out and I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, I'm not accepting this. Like I said some other things. I forget what I said. The Drew Alphalo girl stitched it. 2 or 3 other people stitched it. And then this guy stitched it and they all had people mass report my account and they deleted it. So then I started over and I moved away from that, but I had 50 to 40% of my following from the first account followed within the first week. So I pretty much had my original account back and I've just kind of chilled from there.
Real quick, guys. So while I was looking at the YouTube analytics, I actually saw that 85% of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed. And I want to ask very little of you guys But if you enjoy this podcast, if you find value in it, then please do me this one favor and subscribe to the channel, because doing so helps me get bigger and greater guests like the guests you are listening to today. Also, this channel is not sponsored, which means only the companies that I work with, which are Young LA and Huge Supplements, are the companies that can help fund this channel by you guys using the code Nyle. So code Nyle gives you a discount of 15% off of Young LA, and code Nyle also gives you a discount of 10% off of Huge Supplements. And if you decide to purchase anything from any of these companies, it will help immensely for me by using my code. And this way, I can travel to other guests such as Dr. Mike Israetel next week, and also upgrade in equipment to make this podcast bigger and better for you guys. All right, I got a question for you. So if you think that it's not a good idea to normalize being overweight or being obese, what are your thoughts on the fitness industry and the almost subconscious and unintentional normalization of steroids?
Oh, dude, this is actually funny because I've talked about it a little bit on my channel, and I was going to make a video about it. I've come off of gear recently. I did my bodybuilding show. I had one in June and one in July. And dude, gear ruined me, like mentally, like ruined me. Just like, I guess when I was a kid, I broke my back playing soccer. So I was supposed to go to school for soccer. I was supposed to go D1, played on one of the best teams in the country. We played at international tournaments, and I was like dead set. Yo, I'm going to school for soccer. This is my life. I'm going to dedicate myself to this. So I practiced every single day, played on my high school team and my competitive team. And when I got injured, kind of everything, I had no direction. Like I had gained a bunch of weight. I went from
when you get injured?
Freshman year of high school, the end of my freshman year of high school. So I was 15, broke my back, and I got injured playing soccer. I had a L5 vertebrae fracture and then slipped forward. So I had spondylolisthesis, and they were like, you're never going to run again. Don't forget about playing soccer. You're not going to lift weights unless you're like on a bench and it's like lightweight, no like intense exercise. And I was like, dude, my life's over at 15. Like I can't do this. I struggled with depression, kept eating the same way I ate when I played soccer. Went from 5'7", 140 to like 5'10", 200 in 4 months. Like I grew a lot, but I also just got chunky, dog. Like I had no arms, no chest, gut, like little bitch tits, and just fat legs. Like I just gained 60 pounds out of nowhere. Eventually I got better, and I was like, dude, I gotta lose some weight. So I see myself as what I used to be. Like no matter what, no matter how good I look, like I'll always compare myself to, I'm still that fat, skinny, fat, like weak kid I used to be. So then I started taking steroids after 4 or 5 years of training naturally, getting in great shape. I ended up losing 50 pounds or 40 pounds of that 60 that I had gained, and grew some inches. So I looked really good. I was really happy with how I looked. Stayed natural all through high school, all through college. I dropped out of college when I was 21, like shortly after my TikTok had blown up. And there's a lot of pressure to look a certain way and eat a certain way and act a certain way, train a certain way, whatever it is. There's always eyes on you in social media. And I thought like, hey, this is my job. I should do everything I can in order to look the best that I can. And I had just broken my arm when I moved to Texas. And I was like, dude, if I don't hop on steroids, I'm going to lose all the muscle I already worked so hard to build. I'm going to throw away the opportunity of a lifetime. And like my income and also just eyes on social media and growth was all kind of correlated to like what I was saying, how I looked, how I felt, how my body looked, and the content I was putting out. And all I ever heard was, Test will save your life. Test will, dude, you'll gain muscle. You'll be able to eat more food and not get fat. Your training will be better. All these things that are positive will happen in your life from taking tests. Your motivation to create content, your body will look better, so you'll blow up quicker. All these things. Nobody tells you about this negative side effects. Fucks with your head, fucks with your body, because the second you start to get bigger and you look a certain way, you're naturally going to be like, oh, this is what I can look like. But you can't look like that all the time. Like you can't chill on 500 milligrams of testosterone versus 200 or 250. So I wish I had all these information and a role model to kind of tell me these things when I first started. So now I'm dealing with all the negative side effects. Like my back had broken out with acne, which nobody told me that was a thing, dog. Nobody said that. They were like, oh, like if you had acne naturally, then you'll get it. But if you don't have acne naturally, you won't get it. Never had acne in my life. hopped on gear, started getting pimples on my back. And I'm like, dog, at least it wasn't on my face, but I'm dealing with that. It's not as bad as it was before. Like it's gotten a lot better, but then there's organ damage that you can cause from not knowing things and not cycling on and off and just thinking you can do something for however long. Or there's influence from other people saying, hey, try this drug. Like, oh, this is really good for me. You should try it. And like everybody's different. So I'm trying right now to eat all whole natural foods and trying to hopefully come off of gear. I'm not trying to PCT right now. I'm just going to see if my body can kind of bounce back a little bit by itself before I try something like that. And I hope I didn't fuck myself permanently, but I'm trying to go natural again. And if it doesn't work, try to just go back to TRT and stop fucking with my hormones up and down. Because those big spikes like mentally fucked me, especially after my bodybuilding show. Lost all motivation to train, all motivation to work out. Dude, the last like 7-8 months have been like brutal as far as like mentally and physically. I just don't have it anymore. Burn myself out. Explain like mentally or like, okay, the way I'd explain it, I say this is like this. When you take steroids, when you're natural versus taking steroids, when you're natural, you have a really nice BMW. You have an M4, right? Fast car, you take care of your body, you take care of your car, and it will perform well. But then you get introduced to the idea of taking steroids, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of test. I'm going to take 400 milligrams of testosterone. Now you're in a Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini's faster. It looks cooler. You're getting more attention from it because you think you're getting all these great benefits. But nobody tells you, for example, you have to pay maintenance costs, which is side effects. So then you do a cycle and you're in a Formula One race car. You feel amazing. You look amazing. You're on top of the world. You think nothing can get worse. But what happens? The race ends. Your cycle ends. So then you got to go, not only are you going from the Formula One race car, you're not going back to the Lamborghini. You're not going back to the M4. You're going back to like a 1999 Toyota Corolla. And then you got to, work your way back up to getting, post cycle, doing these things, doing the next things. And then you take your next cycle and go up. So it's constant up and down versus just always having a nice kind of rise. And then you natural peak and then you chill, but you're most likely going to look good. But I think steroids, the up and down, cycle, cruise, dips in motivation, all these things just like fried my brain, dog. At least my brain as far as personal perception of myself and like my confidence and motivation to work out, it's like gone. I'm starting to get it back and like starting to enjoy going to the gym. But for a long time, dog, I'd go to the gym for like 20 minutes and be like, not today. I'll try again tomorrow. Not today. I'll try again tomorrow. And then I finally started to feel good after my show. And I was hitting chest like 4 days a week because the only time I ever wanted to work out was if I was hitting chest. Got a small pec tear and I had to stop hitting chest for like 3 months. And that was like one of the worst things that happened as far as like mentally, like just let myself go, stop going to the gym, stop caring. And it's kind of detrimental. So I would just stay away from gear if you could, if you don't need it. That's how I kind of look at it now. I wish somebody was there to tell me all the things that could happen, or I could see into the future. Obviously it's not possible, but I wish I could see into the future and see what taking steroids would unlock for me, positive and negative. And then I'd be able to weigh out the pros and cons again.
Can you be a little bit more descriptive? Like when were these times when you felt these dips?
Right after my show. Another way that I can kind of explain it is when you're doing content, especially when you're a fitness influencer. I don't really like the word influencer. I feel like I don't want to influence people to do something they don't want to do. It makes me feel like if I call myself an influencer, it makes me feel like a fucking asshole. I'm just a homie that works out. Like I just want to create content, but I don't want to be an influencer. But the way I explain it is a roller coaster. So when you first start posting content on social media, you're filming your bodybuilding show, you're on gear, you're doing your cycle, you're a little chunky, but you're cutting down and things get better. Your views are going up, your gear's kicking in. So you're feeling better in the gym, you're looking better, all these things. The support's at an all-time high. Like you're all the way up here. People are commenting, bro, we believe in you. We love you. You're motivating us. This is amazing. Like we love watching your videos. Your views are all-time high. Like I'm getting like 60K views on a video for prep and all the comments, 400 comments. I'm answering everyone. Bro, you're killing it. You're motivating me. You're at the top. Then you post your show day video and the views go up and you're like, oh my God, people are so happy for me. But then, you can't stay on Test, Tren, Mass, Winstrol, Proviron, whatever the fuck forever. You can't look like that forever. Your body needs a break. So then you go down a little bit because your body's taking a break. Then you start to gain a little bit of weight and your mental starts to go down. And then all the comments and the views stop because you're not giving them a series to watch. They're just going back to what it was. So your views are back to where it was. Your Instagram likes are back to where it was. You don't have this artificial inflation from the from the prep. And then you're honestly lower than you were when you started. Mentally, at least. Like you compare yourself to what you were, who you were, the views and the comments. And it's hard to tie. I'd say as a social media personality, it's hard to not tie your self-worth to the engagement you're getting because you correlate that with how much people care about you and whether or not people are commenting, hey man, we love what you're doing or you're motivating us, whether or not they're saying these things or not. For every, negative comment, there's 100 good ones, but you completely block out all the good ones and you just focus on the negative. It's like, I guess it's just part of being a human that you focus on the negative aspects versus the positive, especially in society now. And, negative comments just tear you down. Fuck this dude. He got fat. Fuck this dude. He's not training anymore. Like people have no idea the stress that we are under as far as our view from social media and the way that we correlate it to ourselves and our self-worth. So that's kind of what I mean by it fucked me up. Like I was on this roller coaster and then it just fucking falls off a cliff and you got to kind of work your way back up. And I don't think personally that I could mentally withstand another fall off of that roller coaster. So I've just decided I don't really want to do another prep or like put myself through that again. And like people got to be realistic, dog. People got to be fucking realistic with themselves. If you don't have the genetics to look like you, like I think I have great genetics. I think I look great, especially when I'm lean. I have, great shoulders, a good back. I feel like when I'm filling out, I have great shape, but like, dog, I don't have the Olympia genetics. Like I'm not going to be Mr. Olympia. I'm not going to even, I probably wouldn't even step foot on the Olympia stage. Like I'm not going to waste the next 20 years of my fucking life sticking needles in my ass and like fucking eating out of Tupperware and all this shit 24/7 and sacrificing like good life situations and trips and experiences with my family. Like I've learned throughout my prep, how much you have to sacrifice in order to do it. Dog, I don't have the genetics for that shit or the mental strength. You look sick. You have the genetics to be on the Olympia stage like we see. I don't, and I'm not going to waste the next 5 years finding out if I do or not and going through these ups and downs. I'd rather just try to get back to where I was and have a smooth ride of, hey, I actually enjoy what I'm doing and my body feels good. Bro, being 4% body fat fucks your head up.
Yeah.
It fucks you up, dog. You get to 8 and you're like, damn, I'm fat. You get to 12 and you're like, fuck, dog, I'm obese. And you're not. To 99% of the population, you look like a superhuman. But in our niche, fuck, dog, I look like shit. You look so good. He's 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
I'm 12 weeks post-show,
That's why also bodybuilders wear oversized tees.
and hoodies every day, dog, and big jeans. I don't wear any tight clothes anymore. Sure. But what about you? How would you say that bodybuilding affected you mentally, or like how have your shows impeded your progress or helped you progress before and after? And like how would you feel about bodybuilding? Do you agree with anything that I said?
Before I say that, do you mind if I ask you, were you always cruising when you came off your cycles, or were you actually coming off in PCTing?
I was never coming off in PCTing. I was always just going back down to like what I considered high performance TRT of like 200 milligrams of test a week.
But even when you were just on 200 milligrams, you feel like that really affected your mental health?
No, I feel like 200 milligrams, I was fine. And that's why I'm saying if my body can't bounce back hormonally on its own within, I don't know, the next month and a half, I would definitely consider just hopping on a base level of 200 milligrams of testosterone again. I want to see that if coming off, the acne will go away that I didn't have prior to hopping on gear.
So on your cruise, you still have the acne?
Yeah, okay. Regardless.
And so what were the mental health, like the detrimental mental health effects that you experienced when you would go on a cruise? What was this up and down that you experienced? Like how did it align?
Just like confidence levels, dude. Like I'll say this, right? A lot of people think, oh, Tren. Dude, Tren is fucking intense, dog. Like I felt like king. I was the king of the world. Nobody could touch me. Nobody could look at me. I was him. Like you are like the main character in not just your own movie, but like everyone's movie. Like you think you are God when you're on Tren. I was 235 pounds, like with abs, like the strongest I'd ever been, overhead pressing 130-pound dumbbells for reps. Like I felt amazing.
You really felt like God.
Yes. I felt like I was him. I was him. And then, you go back to your cruise and you lose all of those things like looking at yourself on cycle of things like Tren, and then looking at yourself on 200 milligrams of testosterone, bro, it's a completely different world. You're two different human beings. You're 12, 15 pounds lighter. You don't have the density. You don't have the dryness. Like, dude, even if you were on point with everything you do, diet, training, all of it, but one person is on 300 milligrams of Tren and 300 milligrams of test, and the other person is on 300 milligrams of test alone, it's two completely different looks. Same exact weight, everything, two different looks.
How do you feel like you looked before you started gear versus your first and your second cruise during the cruises?
I liked how I looked naturally better than the way I look now. I felt like I was much prettier of a human, and I felt prettier, dog. Like my face got bigger, my neck got bigger. I started getting like body hair, which I never had. I had no acne ever in my life, and like it's not bad. Like I don't want people to think, oh my God, it's fucking atrocious. I have no scars from it. It's just something I don't like to see on myself from a confidence standpoint. But dog, natty, I looked fucking sick. I was like 192 pounds, probably like 7-8% body fat, 6'1", 6 foot. Like I felt great. Long, flowy hair. I was always tan. I lived in Florida and I loved the way I looked natty. The only thing I wanted was like, oh, I want to be bigger. I want to be bigger. I want to be bigger. All the time, everyone's like, oh, just get bigger, get bigger. Everyone focuses on getting bigger. Now, dog, it's a cool trend to be fucking skinny and natty, 160 pounds. I could have been 160 pounds when I started working out. Some of these kids that do like the natural shit now, they don't even look like they train. And that's what pushed me to wanting to do steroids. But looking back on it, I wish I never did. I wish I just stayed natural. Because also, I don't know. Do I want to stick a needle in my ass for the rest of my life? No, I don't want to stick a needle in my ass for the rest of my life. But I have to do it at least once a week now if I was going to, continue to be on test. Even as a cruise, you're supposed to pin 2 days a week so you don't have big spikes. Yeah. It's just a nuisance. Like you travel. Whenever I travel, I get a testosterone script from a company. And, I got to travel with that script. And then I got to explain. My parents were super against it. My dad was like, oh, you do steroids. You do steroids. What the fuck? My son, what are you doing? My son. Like this, So I don't know. Just looking back on it, I feel like I wish I was more informed or waited longer. Like I'm not against steroids. I'm not against TRT. I'm not against peptides. I think peptides are amazing. I think that's what I should have looked in before doing anything else. But I just think that the age I started at being 22, I think I was 22. Yeah. I was the wrong time for me to start. I should have waited till I was 25, 26, 27 and had a better understanding and then trained longer and was on top of my diet and training more. Like I was in college, dude. I was eating before I took steroids. I was eating a full family size bag of Takis every single night when I'd work security. I had like 5 jobs in college and I looked sick every day. I was just lean. My body was a furnace. But then you get in your head about, oh, I have to be lean. I have to look this way. And you crush your metabolism. You crush your body's natural set points. So where I used to eat 5,000 calories a day, couldn't gain weight, was just working out and doing like 20 minutes of Stairmasters a day, 5,000 calories. And I was just chilling, 190 pounds, 8% body fat, to now like I gain weight on like 3,000 calories and I'm not doing any cardio. And if I do, it's just playing basketball, but like gaining weight on 3,000 calories with no motivation to train. And I'm 30 pounds heavier than I used to be. I'm like 225 right now. So that's kind of like the ups and downs that I experienced.
I get it, dude. I think about it all the time. The only reason I don't regret it is because of how passionate I am to be on the Olympia stage. It's the only reason.
But that's what I'm saying. You have a life purpose. You have an ability to do that and you have the genetics to do that.
And even then, I don't think I do. Even then, I like look at, I know.
Dog, look at the 3 massive trophies that you look better than.
You're kind of, no way. No, not, dude, those guys are fucking legends, bro. No, I appreciate you, bro. But like, for example, I'm looking at people that are around my age and there's Chris Bumstead, there's Ramon Dino, and there's Urs. And these guys, like, that's where I'm going for. So you see, but dude, you're comparing yourself to the standard look now.
I personally I like the way classic has gone, but like, dude, men's physique is just classic. Men's physique is just classic. Like they need to bring back like 2012, 2013 men's physique If they did something like that and made
maybe
it a
like
complete,
2015.
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is like
2013 was pretty bad.
I'm just looking like something that actually looks achievable naturally again as a realistic standard. But I think all of these, bro, classic competitors are literally, if they put board shorts on, they could fucking compete in men's physique now. They're the same exact build. At least that's how it looks.
Yeah.
And I think that for younger kids, they kind of, or like yourself, there's not really a division that you still look healthy at. You know, like I don't feel like anyone looks healthy as a competitor anymore. Where they used to. It used to look like this is a fitness competition.
Or at least semi-natural.
Semi-natural, dog. That looks like a fucking Belgian buffalo cow in a pair of shorts. Bodybuilding now is Belgian buffalo cows in a fucking in a bikini. And when it's open. And like, dude, to each their own. But I just think there needs to be something that's more achievable for a general population as a fitness competition, as a subcategory, like what men's physique used to look like. Because that, in my mind, is motivating. Oh, I could achieve that. I could look like that. I don't need a lot of gear to look like that, if any. But it's just not possible anymore. Like you need to have insane genetics, pump yourself with fucking hormones like a chicken on a farm, and then just fucking and pray, bro. Some of these fucking, it's just crazy, dog. Like some of the horror stories I've heard about the amount of gear people take in order to be competitive bodybuilders, like that's dangerous as fuck. That's why I stopped. That's why I said it's not for me anymore. I don't want to feel the way I felt post show, and I don't want those ups and downs, and I also don't want the side effects. Like I was checking my liver levels and post show, like they weren't terrible, but like, dog, those are your organs. Like saying it's not terrible when you're looking at your blood work is fucking crazy. And it's normalized. It's normalized. Like, oh, my blood work doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad. Homie, you're talking about your fucking liver. Like you get one of them. You have one liver, not two. I was thinking about kidneys, but like you get one of it. Yeah. You were born with one. And I'm looking at my blood work and I'm like, oh, my liver and kidneys don't look that bad. Don't look that bad is a crazy thing to say when you're talking about.
Do you remember what they were with the,
I have my blood work on my phone. I can show you after if you want, or I can look it up. But I don't know if they're on this phone. This is a new phone. But I know my estrogen was like 55.
Oh, that's high.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. I'm surprised I didn't have tits.
Yeah.
Because like my progesterone was pretty high too. I don't have no gyno. I've been lucky that I haven't gotten any gyno. But like, I don't know. Your hormones isn't something that I should ever think about I should have played with in the first place. Like my testosterone was like off the charts, unreadable, which means like above 2000. And then like estrogen was like 54. I was like, damn, dog, no wonder. I'm like crying. I'm on my period every day. That's how it felt. But have you ever had like a horror story as far as your blood work?
No, but you just made me think of Dr. Israel had this little horror story where he was telling Bart Kwan that he went on a trip, and on this trip he forgot his test with him. So on his way back home, he was like looking at the mountains, like crying because it was so beautiful. He was like, fuck, it's because I forgot to take some shots of tests.
That was when I took Halo, dog. I took Halo for a week.
Yeah.
And because it was in between two shows. I did my first show. I was 200 pounds on stage. Lean. I was shredded, but like there's a difference between shredded and like at a local show and shredded at a national show. So I was proud of the way I looked, but Kyle and I decided, hey, we're going to do one more show. Let's give it to the YouTube channel. Let's give it our all and see what we can really do. And I lost a lot of weight in between the two shows. My first show, I was 201 pounds on stage. My second show, I was 187 pounds on stage. And like, I may have dieted myself down a little bit too much, but middle of that, I said, hey, is there anything that can help me get this oof back? Like I can't go to the gym right now. I'm like dying. And we decided, hey, we'll try Halo for a couple days. I'm calling him crying. I love you so much, man. You're my best friend, dog. I love you. Like I'm calling my brother like, I love you, Mo. Like, I can't wait till you come live with me, man. I'm crying. You know Noel Dazel?
Yeah.
He had just had his hernia surgery. And I'm calling him on Snapchat, sending him like a voice recording, like, bro, I fucking love you, man. Fight through this. Like, you're going to be okay. And I tell Kyle I'm doing this, and he goes, stop taking that shit. It was after 2 days, dude. That shit fucked with me. It made me an emotional little girl.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It was funny. So I don't fuck with any of that shit anymore.
You know something cool? This is really dope because I just posted the podcast with Devin Bernardo.
I watched the highlights of it. I was going to watch the full thing, but I don't do cardio anymore.
Nice. Nice. But dude, this is like the perfect explanation and the perfect example to show people just how different people can react to gear, to drugs in general.
Oh, I was watching. He was saying he loves it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. People underestimate just how much variance there are, which is why it pisses me off when people claim that someone's lying about their doses or something. I'm like, you don't know shit about what he's taking.
Yeah.
You think you know, you're claiming to know things like you're God and you know everything, but you know nothing. Like that you can never claim what someone is doing. Maybe you can assume, but one person is prescribed 100 milligrams of TRT and another person is prescribed 200 milligrams of TRT.
Yeah.
How do you know that 500 milligrams of test is not going to react as 1,000 milligrams of test for someone else? You know what I mean? You really don't.
The most test I had ever taken, my first cycle ever was 200 milligrams of testosterone, 250 milligrams of testosterone. I went from 186 pounds to 236 pounds in 4 months. I was bulking. By the end of my cut, I had gained 15 pounds of like lean tissue, in my opinion. Like I went from 186 lean, roughly 10, 12% body fat, to 205 pounds lean, roughly 10% body fat. Some of that could have also been
intramuscular water.
Yeah, right. That's why I gave that 5 to 6 pound buffer for like it was essentially 20 pounds, but like water, carbs, glycogen. Let's say it was 10 pounds of muscle. I'd consider that to be pretty good. My first cycle, 10 pounds of lean tissue in 4 to 5 months on 250 milligrams of testosterone. After that, the problem is you see how you react the first time and you're like, fuck man, a little bit more. A little bit more. It's the same thing with gambling. It's the same. Taking steroids is gambling. You sit down at the blackjack table and you win a hand and you're like, fuck man, I'm making some money. You're on 200 milligrams of testosterone. I'm making some gains. You're like, man, I'm up a couple hands. I'm gonna put $400 down. Side effects, fuck you, just lost. But now the side effects are there. And it's kind of that you kind of got to feel each person individually. Like for example, you might really like the way you feel on 400 milligrams of testosterone and you could chill at that all year. If I was on 400 milligrams of testosterone, I feel like I'm on a cycle, dog. I feel like I'm like fucking on one all the time. And I also like, I'm not an angry person ever. Tren would make me angry, like hungry, angry though. So you kind of learn how you respond to different things.
Can I tell you something interesting? So first I thought it was variance. Like there is a lot of different variances in how people respond emotionally as well. Right. So Devin Bernardo, like no emotional effect really.
Yeah.
He feels great on all gear. So he loves it. You on the other hand, I've experienced things like this. I can relate. Dude, fucking gear just changes you. It just changes you. Your personality, what you feel, what you think about things. Dude, how you react. Yeah. It's fucking terrible. But what I have noticed is when I used to not be resilient, I am now. I notice when I take things now, I don't really feel that much different anymore. And I don't know why that is.
Do you think that your receptors are kind of saturated and kind of maybe fried? You fried the receptor for a period of time. Like the way I always looked at steroids was like, if I take 400 milligrams of testosterone and that's my cycle, if I don't wait at least 4 to 5 months on 200 milligrams of test to do that again, I will need to take more because my body is kind of saturated or fried that receptor to that amount of testosterone. And I need to take more in order to feel a difference. So that's
potential.
Yeah.
A lot of people will argue against that, especially because a lot of people like to believe, based off of this one research paper, that androgen receptor sensitivity increases as you continue to take care. But Diane Cruz has said that it's an initial response. So people are correlating the initial response of an increase in androgen receptor sensitivity to like throughout the entire cycle that you're doing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is true, but I mean, maybe I haven't checked out the paper myself, so I can't say anything. But I don't know about fried. I do believe that as you take drugs, you build a tolerance. But my intuition and what I've been told by other professionals that I stand by is steroids affect men under the age of 25 a lot more mentally than those above the age of 25.
Because your brain's not fully like formed yet, right? My brain is still developing.
It's not until 25.
Yeah. Your prefrontal cortex is right. That's what it is. That's not fully developed until you're 25. I'm not exactly sure. I just remember something that I might have heard and I might be reciting that wrong, but I definitely think that's true. I think that if I would have waited until I was 26 or 27 to try taking steroids for the first time, I think I would have dealt significantly different with it. I feel like, I don't know, like you were saying, everyone responds differently. And I just feel like personally, I might have not just been, I'm just not built for cycles. I'm built for, a cruise.
Right.
But I'm not built for these massive up and down spikes just mentally and just not there for it.
I'm sure those were a lot more sensitive for you. Plus, a lot of people also respond very differently with their hormone levels and fluctuations on the same cycles. So say that like Devin has a stable estrogen level off of this thing, whereas you had your estrogen level at what, like 50 or 55?
That's what it was after I had checked, before I was taking an AI or anything like that. Like that was just like 400 milligrams of test. My estrogen was like 50 something. It was a lot, which is like not good.
How regularly did you check your blood work?
I was getting it checked once every 4 months, I think, through Transcend. They were really cool about it. They were just like, hey, like we're going to send in a blood work profile for you. We'll have someone go over it with you, kind of help you explain like what it is. But dude, I was an idiot. Like my natural testosterone levels were like almost 900.
That's pretty good.
Bro, my dad just got his checks. My dad is 64, 65. His were like 720 at 65, dog. But he works in New York City. He's an architect. He walks
fuck?
Yeah, dog. He takes like 15,000 steps a day in New York 65? City.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I should have never taken shit. But I was just ignorant to the idea. Like I had got my blood work done for soccer. That my coach was just like, hey, everyone needs to get their blood work done. I think I was like, I played my senior year of high school again after not playing for 2 years after getting injured. And a bunch of us got our blood work done as like a part of our physical. But my mom had it on her computer. I was looking at it. I was like, I remember I got my testosterone checked. Dude, like almost 900.
How long have you been off now?
I don't think I've pinned in 8 weeks or so, roughly 8 weeks.
How do you feel right now?
My dick still works, so that's nice.
That's pretty dope.
Which is like surprising because I had come off in the past. I'm starting to feel a lot better. Genuinely, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I think it has to do with the fact that I've switched to the all natural diet.
Okay.
I'm just doing breakfast is eggs with an apple or an orange. Then I just go to the gym. I put a little bit of almond butter and honey.
Okay.
Then I'll do salmon with a little bit of rice, some kimchi and sauerkraut. And then if I need a snack, an apple or an orange. And then dinner has been a steak with some sweet potato and sauerkraut and kimchi.
Why have you held off on PCTing?
I just want to see if my body can do it by itself. I'm curious. I'm already this far.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you straight up. When I stopped taking tests, it was I'm done with this shit. Fuck it. I'm done. I'm not pinning.
How long were you taking gear for?
Consecutively?
Yeah.
After my show ended in July, it had been kind of sporadic. Like, I'm going to remember to pin this week. Oh, fuck, man. It's been 10 days since I pinned. I guess I'll pin. But like,
have you ever considered maybe that might be the reason why a lot of your emotional, like,
Absolutely. But like, it's the way that I'll explain it is it's hard to feel good about anything when you have an identity crisis. Like I shaved my fucking head, dog. Worst decision I've ever made. I'm white. I don't have a black dude hairline. I don't have it. I see a lot of Asian dudes look sick with the fucking buzz cut. A lot of black guys sick with a haircut, sick with a buzz cut. White dudes, dog. I ain't got the hairline for that shit. I ain't got the hairline for that shit.
I didn't think it was that bad, man.
My hairline's not bad, but it's not good. It's not flat. Like I got like a little corner, and I've always had it.
Yeah,
it's just always what I've had. Italian hairline, dog. No, nothing's flat. But I have like a little bit of corner.
I mean, a lot of black dudes do get a SMP done. So
the like platelets thing,
scalp micropigmentation.
Yeah. Oh, like pigmentation, like a tattoo.
It's basically tattooed hairline.
Damn.
It's pretty dope though.
Our black, I would do that shit too. I would do that shit too. But yeah, man, I don't know. Fucking shaving my head was an impulse. I was like, you know what it was? I was dealing with an identity crisis. I kept looking in the mirror and I was like, this isn't me. After you do a show, your estrogen is crushed. And when your estrogen starting to come back, your hair sheds. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm just going to give my head a fresh start. And if my face is fat and I get a buzz cut, I have to stay lean because then my face is going to look fatter if I have a buzz cut. So I'll be forced to be lean. This is like the fucked up way my brain was working. So I went to the barber and I was like, buzz this shit, dog. 2 days later, I go, damn, man, it's really going to be 6 months before I see my hair again. I was getting sad, but it's finally coming back. My hair's pretty long again. But I'm definitely not buzzing my shit ever again. But that's where it got to, bro. But yeah, like I was saying about the steroid shit, I think post-show, dealing with the identity crisis and all these things makes it really hard to stay motivated on top of things like consistently pinning. I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm not even on prep. I'm not eating what I should be eating. I'm not motivated the way I was. Like, I'm not going to take gear. I'm not going to waste a good bottle of test. Shit like that. But yeah, I'm hoping that if my body recovers the way that it was and could eventually get back, I'd be happy going back to exactly how I looked natty. If I could go back to exactly how I looked natty and just focus on building my arms and shoulders, saying fuck training anything else, just have decent chest, big arms, big shoulders, and being thin. I just want to be thin again, dog. I'm tired of buying big boy.
I believe we can revert back.
You think so?
Yeah. When even if you just jump on TRT instead of actually PCT and coming off, more often than not, as long as you're in a range that's similar to your previous range, and preferably you're injecting close to every day or as frequently as possible, so your estrogen is lower without you having to take anything, then your water weight kind of drops. Your face starts getting slimmer.
I've lost a lot of water.
Your wrinkles start going away. Start looking younger again. So like Vigorous Steve is probably a good example of that right now, since he's trying to have a baby. Yeah. Doesn't look as big and burly and like a bull anymore. He looks a little bit more like a human being. This
is going to also sound really fucked up if you're a girl watching this. One of my biggest nightmares is having a daughter.
Love you, Steve. Last podcast, you said he's going to take a shot for every time I say Vigorous Steve.
Vigorous Steve. Vigorous Steve. Vigorous Steve.
Okay, anyway, what were you saying
Vigorous
about your girl?
But no, I said one of my biggest fears is having a daughter. Just because of the world we live in right now. Like I don't want my daughter to grow up with any of these idols that people are idolizing now, like me and Khalifa and shit like that. So a huge fear of mine is having a daughter. And I heard that if you take steroids, you're way more prone to having a daughter because of the temperature of your balls. Cold balls make sons. Warm balls make daughters. So if your balls are smaller and closer to your body, I swear to God, this is what I've been told. This is what I've been told.
Wait. You said warm balls make daughters?
Warm balls make daughters because the hot...
Who told you this?
There was a study done that I was reading about. And
and the study's like credible?
Yeah, apparently.
I've heard something along these lines,
I heard a doctor reading
bullshit.
No, and apparently like the food you eat too, like if you eat a lot of fish, you're most likely to have a son. If you eat a lot of chicken, you'll have a daughter. And bodybuilders be loving chicken.
I eat a lot of fish.
I eat a lot of fish too. I cut out chicken from my diet completely.
I'm going to do that.
Bro, I'm done. Well, also like I don't think that there's reputable places to buy chicken unless you go to like a local farmer's market or you kill the chicken yourself. But I feel like steak, like I work with this company called Lazy T Ranch and I love them. They have grass-fed beef. It's amazing and it tastes really good. So if I'm getting that steak and then I'm getting a salmon from like Trader Joe's wild caught Alaskan salmon, I don't need to eat chicken. And like I said, a big fear of mine is having a daughter. And if you eat chicken and you take steroids and your balls are closer to your body and closer to the heat will kill the male sperm cells.
Okay. Real quick, because we didn't answer this question, but for how long that you've stayed off cycle and you want to like go back before, you don't want a PCT, you want to see how your levels go back up. How long total did you take gear total?
2022, 2023, 2.5 years.
Okay, so
not all highs. A lot of it was lows. I had done a few real cycles.
Unless you're getting your blood work done like more than like at least once a month or something, my personal advice is to just start doing an HCG, maybe an HMG.
Okay. Cycle. Well, I'm about to travel to England for the Arnold UK with the MLA. And I was thinking about going to like Dubai or traveling Europe.
I want to go to that.
Go, dog. Go. We'll get an Airbnb together. We'll save money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to travel Europe after. I want to go to Italy for a week because I have family there. That's where my dad's from. He moved here in his 30s. So I still have a house there that I can go stay at. I have family in England. I have friends in Ireland. I have family friends in France. So I could go stay in all those places for essentially free. So if I get out there, I would like to go travel. And then when I come back is when I would try to start anything. But traveling through borders with prescriptions and trying to get used to taking whatever else new substance. I just want to see how my body is at, maybe the middle of March and then get some blood work done, see what it's at.
Okay.
And if not, try a PCT or go back to a base level of TRT and see how I can kind of adapt from there.
Gotcha.
Like I'm not against gear and I'm not against myself using it either.
You should definitely try to get some HCG on hand though, just in case you start feeling a little sad.
I think I have it.
Feeling low.
I think I have it. Yeah, I think I have it. Should I just take it?
I mean, I would just give yourself like an actual plan, like this many weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 10, 12 weeks, whatever, how long you want to afterwards. And then just start like an actual planned out cycle of HCG, potentially also in clomiphene, maybe HMG.
Have you ever considered coming off gear yourself?
For as long as me going to Olympia?
No, after.
After?
Like after you're able to achieve your dream of getting there and your goal. Because I think you will. I think you will, dog.
Don't
you
make
look
me
fucking
cry,
crazy. Bro. But would you ever be like, okay, my time is done. I think I'm going to see what I could look like if I could PCT? Or you're just always going to coast on TRT forever?
I'll probably try going natural for once. And I'm sure I'll probably like do it also for the sake of having a baby.
Yeah.
But
that's a huge reason for me too, is having kids.
I've been very open about a lot of things, but there's some things that I realize like maybe. So have you ever gotten a girl pregnant?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, I have a friend that got a girl pregnant and he was on tons of steroids while he was on tons of steroids. And I feel like this actually seems to happen a lot, which is surprising to me.
Oh, like just getting a girl pregnant? I have a homie that got a girl
like
pregnant
still getting them pregnant even when they're on tons of steroids.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to, kill your fertility, but it doesn't. For some people it doesn't. I have a friend that got someone pregnant on a cycle.
Yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck? How is this possible?
If you feel like any of the medications that we spoke about today may benefit you, such as BPC 157, GH secretagogues such as Tesamorelin, IGF-1, oxandrolone troche, semaglutide, then you can obtain these from Trens and HRT, and the link for that will be in the bio. If you feel like you're experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, such as depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, as well as lack of sex drive, then you can get this checked out as well by getting your blood work done at Transcend, and they will provide you expert medical analysis. Transcend HRT has worked with many professional bodybuilders and pro athletes, such as Thor Bjornsson, Phil Heath, and Jeremy Buendia. And if you feel like this podcast has any relevancy to you, I do believe that this clinic will provide of great benefit to you as well. Let's talk about steroids again. What were we on last time?
Oh, I was talking about someone getting. You said
getting girls pregnant on steroids. Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible.
I think it makes the swimmers stronger, honestly.
No, dude. You know what it is?
But they're stronger.
It fucking. Well, yeah, maybe. I was afraid. I'm not gonna lie. I tell this girl all the time. I keep my like relationship stuff off of the social media, but what I tell my girlfriend all the time is, if you don't stop hitting that fucking jewel, I'm going to break up with you and leave you.
Because you tell her that?
Yeah. Because the mother of my children isn't going to give me a kid with problems because you have your eggs permanently. You don't know how those jewels and all those things, those fucking 40,000 flavor puff pods, how that affects your eggs. I make new sperm every day, dog. If I want to hop off steroids, I'll probably still be chilling, But if you are a girl and you're 6, 7, 8 years of hitting those fucking pop pods or whatever the fuck they're called, jewel pods, but different flavors, puff bars, you're fucking your eggs up for sure. And I guarantee you in 20 years, there's going to be a bunch of kids that come out with autism and Down syndrome because of all these girls that are having these things and they fuck their eggs up.
Do you think like...
So I told her I'm not having kids with you if you don't stop hitting that shit.
Interesting. All I know about is the research that actually shows that when a girl is actually on any of these substances, including nicotine, cocaine, any of these recreational drugs or steroids, while they are entering their pregnancy, that's when it really causes an increase in birth defects.
Yeah.
There's like there's some papers on that, but there hasn't been, I think there's been a lack of research to show that if a man is on those things during ejaculation and fertilization, it doesn't really actually affect the birth defect rate unless somehow it's changed the DNA, which
I think it's more of the eggs that have that kind of effect, which is why I say like people can call me fucked up all they want. I don't give a shit. If I'm having a kid with a woman for 1 year, there is diet in place, not diet as in diet down, diet as in healthy foods, no diet sodas, no excessive drinking.
No diet sodas?
No, dog, no.
What?
There's studies come out that Diet Coke causes autism. I'm not taking a chance.
Guys.
No. Diet Coke in pregnancy, during a pregnancy can cause autism.
Gotcha.
And I want to give my child the best possible opportunity to succeed. If I can myself personally and my wife that I'm having a child with, be on top of everything as far as diet, nutrition, no drug use, excessive drinking, all these things can be, fixed and just the way you should be, the way that your child is supposed to be mothered and fathered. I think you're giving your child the best opportunity for success. And I think that if I was going to have a kid with a woman, I would like for both of us to 1 year before the pregnancy and during the pregnancy, both be incredibly strict and on top of our things. Because bro, that's your child's life you're playing with.
Yeah.
And I want to give my child the best opportunity to succeed. So if that means like both of us, no diet sodas, no drinking, no drug use, no steroids. I would never date a druggy woman anyway that does coke. I think that's terrible. But shrooms.
So you wouldn't date me?
You do blow? Really? On the regular?
No, I don't do blow.
I've never done coke in my life.
You've never done it in your life?
No, the only drugs I've ever taken, which I don't consider to be drugs, are shrooms. And I love mushrooms, but I think they're more of medicinal than an introspective.
Yep.
Than something that's like an upper. Like I would never take an upper, if that makes sense. I'm already high energy. I'm already on that drunk type of timing. So for me, like I would never touch cocaine. My father's father passed away from a heart attack in his mid 50s. And that's enough for me to say, hey, I'm on steroids. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I barely drink. I don't smoke often after I got in trouble in high school. And I think that if you pick one, you can't have the others. It's one or the other. You can't have you can't have your cake and eat it too, You got to give that fucking cake away.
Right.
So I just think that if you're already doing so many things that are technically detrimental to your health, because like being on cycle is detrimental to your health. It's not TRT based levels where you have everything is like, bro, you're on cycle. Give up the other shit. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do fucking coke and all these other drugs. But I think mushrooms are different. Personally, in my mind, the way I look at mushrooms.
I don't want to judge what anyone ever takes, but for sure, I also agree that normally cocaine and a lot of these other are not really the most beneficial.
I don't know.
Everyone can like use certain substances to their advantage with, I guess, some kind of consciousness and a level of responsibility. But most of the time, or often not, people just become dependent and use it as an escape. So that's how I think that's one way where shrooms kind of make that difficult, because shrooms aren't really an escape. They kind of make you face your problem head on.
Yeah, which is why I don't consider shrooms to be a drug. I consider it more of some medicinal. Same way for some people, weed is medicinal. But bro, I used to clown on the DARE officers, like drug awareness resistance education. I used to clown on them. Weed's not a gateway drug. That shit's a fucking gateway drug, dog. They were right. The amount of people I knew that were smoking weed at like 12 that are like literally doing nothing with their lives. Like, I don't want to call them loser bums, but like there's literally no better word. Like there's a lot of people that I knew from my hometown that are like smoking weed at 12. Like, oh dog, I'm going to go smoke after school and we're 12. Now they're like bums, dog, bums. Rotting in their home, bums.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy I never did any of that shit. Not for all people, but for some people.
There's a trade-off for it. Because just like anything, it gives you one thing and then it takes away another. So if weed gives you the ability to empathize with others, if weed gives you the ability to feel, maybe do art, be more creative, then it's like you're unlocking potential. But then if you keep taking weed and increases your prolactin, causes you to be lazy because your hormone is out of balance, then it's probably going to, fucking avalanche you in the wrong direction.
I think I have pretty strong, I don't want to call them rules, but like guidelines that I would like to follow and kind of plans that I have in my life as far as like what type of person I would marry, what type of background they have as far as family dynamic for myself and them, and then how I'd want to raise my children. And I just don't think I could find myself putting myself in a situation to be with someone or surround myself with people that do that. Like, I think that you are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a bunch of lazy people who smoke weed all day, not saying all people that smoke weed are lazy, but like you're saying, you build up a tolerance to it, increases your prolactin, affects your hormones, decreases productivity, or people that do cocaine a lot, or people who excessively drink. I'm surrounding myself with people who are not bettering me. Yeah. And that's kind of like what I want to change in my life. Yeah. It's like who I surround myself with.
Something my best friend Dion taught me that made me, I feel like it made me in almost like a powerhouse in the way of using, if I want to use a substance to my advantage, then well, for example, like I stopped taking Adderall even though I'm prescribed it, but like using these as like specific tools where, like for example, for caffeine, I stopped taking caffeine on a regular daily basis. I use caffeine on the days I do podcasts or I film. And it makes me a powerhouse on those days. Same thing with like any other substance. Same thing with like mushrooms. If I feel like I need it for a purpose of like, I don't know, fucking releasing neuroplasticity, becoming more open-minded about something, overcoming some kind of like shit that's fucking rankling me, then yeah, it's like, as long as I'm not using it on a regular daily basis, that thing's always going to hit.
Which I feel like that is what those things were intended in their use. Like if you do something every single day and you surround yourself with people who are doing those things every single day, you're not going to improve ever.
I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention the thing that makes it really easy though is what Dion taught me is making yourself do something and accomplish something that you don't want to do is like a dopamine rush in itself.
Yeah,
and it's an achievement in itself, right? So he will do things like he like smokes weed all the time, but for example, this last month he's like, for 2024, I'm not going to smoke weed for 3 months. And he just hasn't smoked weed since New Year's. Yeah. For absolutely no reason. He just chose to do that.
That was me with the Juul. I used to be addicted to that shit when I was in high school. And then I went to college and I pledged a fraternity and everyone was always hitting the Juul and shit. And 2 reasons why I stopped. One is a bunch of chicks would always ask me, can I hit your Juul? Can I hit your Juul? And my number one thought process is if I wouldn't kiss you, I'm not drinking out of the same cup as you. You're not hitting my Juul. Because that's the same shit. If you look crusty and dusty, you're not touching my Juul. But in college, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I put it down on New Year's of 2018 into 2019. I stopped hitting that shit. Haven't hit it since.
Nice.
Done. But like, it was a dopamine rush to stop. Like you're right. Like it's a sense of accomplishment and a sense of like, I did what I set my mind out to do, which is always good for your brain. Don't your brain grow and develop more for everything
that you don't want to do.
Everything you don't want to do makes you a better person from a brain standard as well.
So if there's something you don't want to do and you accomplish it, then it makes your brain just grow a little bit more. And can't remember what the area is. I think it's the frontal lobe or something.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that the next day and you stop it and like, hey, hell yeah, I did it. Unfortunately, it shrinks back down. So what you have to do is you have to do that thing that you don't want to do consistently on a daily basis.
What if you start liking the thing that you don't want to do? Like for example, an ice bath. That's the problem.
If you start loving it and it's something you want to do, I think it doesn't grow.
Okay, so I have to hate going in the ice bath every day.
You got to continue not to like it.
Yeah, because
or whatever. You got to continue not to like the things that you're doing. So whatever, or maybe continue to do
something new every week that you don't like doing. Like I'm gonna run a mile every day. I hate running.
Yeah,
I can't breathe. Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
My brain grows. Next day, do it again, and then eventually I start to like running. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing this. That was how it was for me in cardio. I was doing like 70 minutes of cardio a day, fasted. I was like, fuck, man, this sucks. And by the end, I was like excited to do my cardio in the morning because then I could eat after. So it's kind of the same trade-off. You know, something that you hate, then you start to like it. My brain stopped growing. That's why I stopped doing cardio.
That's why.
But
I want to backtrack real quick though, because when you were saying the reason that you stopped steroids was you heard some horror stories. Got me curious. Can you tell me these steroid horror stories?
Yeah, just like, okay, seeing people online with like atrocious acne from steroid use scared me because like mine's not bad, but like I'll get like 2 or 3 big pimples at a time and I'm like, fuck man, I hate this shit. Like this is disgusting. I hate acne. It's an eyesore. It's not good for confidence. And then I'd see people with like entire fucking breakouts, like cystic. I'm like, fuck, that could happen to me. It's scary. It scares me away from it. It makes me not want to do it. Same thing as far as like, bro, people kill themselves. People kill themselves from like drug abuse, like steroid abuse, where it fucks with their brain so much that they just can't handle it and they kill themselves. And like, that's terrifying for me to think about. Not that I don't feel like I'd ever be susceptible to killing myself, but just seeing people do it is a terrifying thought. And you know, I'm at a high point right now. You know, I make good money. I enjoy what I do. I have some good friends. I'm fortunate enough that I can travel and I'm young. You know, I have the car of my dreams. I have a great relationship with my brother, my mother, my father, my best friend. I'm at a great point right now. So I don't know what I could say or speak to if I wasn't in that great of a point in my life. And I don't know. It's just like all scary thoughts to think about and see people talk about when they're on steroids. So it's kind of like shying me away from wanting to do it. Also, I feel like I want to be a good voice for my younger audience to not think that steroids is their only option. Because I was kind of thinking, I had a lot of people in my ear at the time, dude, this is a great decision. You're going to love it. And it's only because they're doing it and they don't want to be alone. A lot of people I don't want to be alone in doing this. I want to know someone's in it with me. So if I'm taking fucking steroids, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I'm doing this drug. I want someone else to do it with me. I don't want to do it alone. So I feel like I fell victim to that. of people, just me doing it because other people were influencing me to do it when they were already doing it. I should have asked someone or looked more into people who were telling me not to do it and get both sides of the story instead of like, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. This is amazing. Steroids are great. Things like that.
I think all the time we feel like lonely in that regard. All the time we want to have someone in the community, and that's for every aspect that we jump into. So like being in steroids or starting to take steroids, suddenly you're a fan of the steroid community, you know, suddenly you're interested in what everyone else experienced. Yeah. Same thing with the naturals. That's why they're always like, don't do steroids, like fuck steroids, you know.
I mean, I've seen both sides. And like, honestly, dude, there are some amazing benefits as far as TRT goes and as hormones and peptides go. And I would never want to shy someone away from like the good benefits. I just think everyone should be fully informed of the pros and cons of both. Like
everyone should absolutely be informed, especially the cons of steroids.
I think that there's not enough education as far as steroids go, or at least like digestible information. Bro, some of these people that do these fucking YouTube videos about steroids, I'm like, bro, you're using words that I couldn't even fucking spell if you put it in front of me and I had to put the word from one side to the other paper. Like there are just some ways that people explain things. I'm like, bro, you need to explain steroids, like steroids for retards. This is how you look at it. Like good, bad, list. Make it easy.
All right.
Make it easy. Like, I feel like that would be so much more beneficial than like making these in-depth videos about scientific words that I have no fucking clue what they mean.
It's fun to listen to more plates though.
It's fun and fascinating to listen to Derek
but
with more plates, but it's hard to absorb it. What I'm saying is like, there needs to be a middleman of like, hey dude, I'm a fucking idiot and I explain it. This way is how I would explain it to someone else who's a fucking idiot. I don't actually think I'm an idiot, but like, break it down at a digestible level for the general public. Because when I was first learning about steroids, bro, I had no idea what the fuck I was looking at. None. I was just like, big muscles. I want. No one tells you your balls shrink and you sweat a lot.
No one told you your balls would shrink?
No, dog.
They didn't tell you your test would turn off?
No.
That's crazy. That's the first thing.
No. When I first hopped on fucking steroids, I was like, people were like, bro, people ask all the time, doesn't steroid make your dick smaller? Like, no, dog, it makes your dick bigger. It makes your balls smaller.
It makes your dick bigger relative to your balls.
No, not really. I would say that steroids made my penis bigger.
What?
Yeah.
How?
You wouldn't say the same thing?
No.
Better blood flow, more like not aggression, but like sex drive. You're more interested. I would definitely say
nothing to do with penis size.
Dude, I would definitely say my penis has grown half an inch or more since I've hopped on steroids.
Nice. Okay. You got to give me that steroid then.
Bro, it was just that. What it is. I would just say like,
what'd you do? You fucking spread that test on your dick or something?
No, dog. I just think it has to do with blood flow and nutrient absorption and drive.
Nice. Okay.
You don't think that your dick's growing at all from taking steroids? No. I swear to God, my shit's gone at least half an inch bigger.
If you like put DHT cream, I think it's DHT cream, if not test cream, on your dick, it will actually help it grow. But
I'm very happy with the size of my penis. I'm not gonna risk getting cut off. For you, next thing you know, they have a study that comes out, DHT cream causes dick cancer. Right. Penis removed.
Gotcha.
I'm not risking that shit.
I'm currently happy with the size of mine too, but that's only because I talk to Asian girls only. Anyways,
dude.
So you were actually discussing though horror stories in reference to the scariest cycles and dosages that you saw.
Oh, so, yeah.
Can you tell me about those horror stories?
Just talking through people, like I was at Alphaland for a long time, and what I noticed is 60% of the gym takes some sort of PED, but you'd only realize on 5%. Like I think that a vast majority of people who have taken PEDs still look like shit and like don't even look like they lift because they hop on too soon. Something's not in check. But being at Alphaland, you hear just sometimes the amount of gear that some of these young kids are taking. I was talking to one kid, he came for summer shredding weekend. He was like, yeah, man, I'm on a gram of test, 600 milligrams of Mastron, 600 milligrams of testosterone. He was taking like 100 milligrams of Anavar and then taking like Superdrol or something. And I was like,
wow. 100 milligrams of Anavar?
Dude, he didn't even look like he worked out. He was just fat.
Oh man.
And I was like, bro, what? And he was just reciting it. Like he was like proud to say these things. And then also like, I mean, you read Reddit forums about people dying and having just awful side effects. So like, I can't recall an exact like thing that I saw online, but just like these Reddit forums of like steroid side effects are terrifying. If you ever like dug into it, have you ever like gone down like a rabbit hole of like steroid side effects?
Yeah, bro.
Looked into it.
Of course. I feel like that's everything that I talk about on my podcast and the shit I've talked about on my YouTube before. Like, gear can cause any assortment of issues for anybody.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, is you never know what you're going to get. You're just rolling the dice with it. So you won't know until you experience it.
Yeah. Do you ever think there's going to be, I've never looked into this. If you have a cancer cell in your body, do you think being on steroids or being on any sort of peptide would increase the growth of the cancer cell, or like
any growth hormone related one?
Yeah. So it's like I took
especially
growth hormone.
IGF-1.
Sheesh, I took that shit a while ago. And I don't think I have any cancer cells in my body, hopefully.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So
you took it? Or you had a cancer cell?
IGF-1. No, I took IGF-1 at 25 micrograms.
Yeah.
But I was doing it like once a week, sometimes twice a week on the day that I wanted to, on the muscle group I wanted to increase the most.
Yeah, there was a couple long period of time I was taking it, probably like 2 to 3 months where I was taking it almost every single day.
Oof.
Well, the paper was saying take it every single day.
I know, yeah, it does say that.
Yeah. So I was like, into the muscle you were training. So I'd like pin my bicep. I remember my mom was dropping me off. I was back home in New Jersey. And for some reason, I couldn't use the second car. My mom was driving somewhere. And I'm like sticking a needle in my bicep, like while my mom's driving. She's like, what the fuck?
Really?
Yeah.
Did your mom know?
Yeah, my mom knows I'm on steroids. I told my mom first. Okay. I told my mom, I was like, hey mom, like, by the way, I'm taking steroids. And she was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, mom, like I'm taking steroids. I didn't want you to find out through like social media. My dad found out through social media. I was afraid to tell him. My dad would beat the shit out of me.
What happened? Did he?
Yeah, he was pissed, dog. He was so fucking mad. He was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why do you need this? You don't need this. You look great. And I tried to explain to him, like, I feel like the older generation doesn't really understand social media, the money you can make through it, and like how I can hopefully set myself up for my future by being open on social media about these things. And I just told him, I was like, hey, like it helps me stay motivated and do these things. And he's like, but my dad would point out like, oh, you have a pimple now. Like, you've never had pimples.
You have a pimple now.
And I'm like, thanks, dog. Like, fuck you. I'm already self-conscious about it. But
forget the asclerotic.
Yeah, dude.
Asclerotic.
But I don't know. I think I don't know, man. It's just a long story. I remember I was pinning IGF-1 into my bicep, and my mom was like, "What is that?" And I had to like explain to her how it wasn't a steroid, and all these things. But I don't know. I'm just afraid. I feel like the older I've gotten, the more afraid of these negative side effects I've become. Because when you're young, you have no rationalization for negative. You only realize the positive. And now that I'm older, I definitely think like, all right, I want to have kids soon. I want to be like, 27 when I have a kid, maybe. And I'm 24. I should really start thinking about what I'm putting in my body before I decide to have a kid. Because, bro, imagine you fuck your kid over for the rest of his life because of a decision you made. You find out that because you were on test, he has X, Y, and Z birth defect.
That's one of my biggest fears.
What questions did you get from the Q&A?
Are you up to answer them?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? All right, cool.
I'm pretty open with a lot of my audience, as open as I can be.
Ian Nelson asks, what age did you start training and when did you decide to hop on?
I started training at 16. It was my sophomore year of high school. I got injured the end of my freshman year. I started working out. I was 1 year deep into physical therapy out of 2 years of physical therapy. Started working out in the gym, doing bodyweight calisthenics only, and just trying to lose weight and get in shape. I started myself with intermittent fasting. And then I became unnatural at 20, right before I turned 22. So I trained naturally for 4.5 years, nice. 4.5 years naturally. And then I hopped on at 21, almost 22, like a month and a half before I turned 22.
How much do you feel like you had left until you hit your cap of 4.5 years of natty training?
I had at least another 20 pounds of natural lean tissue I could have added, because my first year of training, I was 200 pounds. I cut all the way down to 165. I had bulked up to 180 and then cut down to 165 again the next year. And it was two completely different 165s. One was like a skinny fat, light definition of my abs. The next one was like, I'm fucking shredded, like very, very lean, just too skinny. I bulked up to 195 pounds over that next like 8 months, cut down, and I was in the mid 180s, looking pretty similar. I looked really good. I was really happy with how I looked. And then I went to college, bulked up to 218, cut down to 190, 192. And then I bulked up again to 235 during quarantine for COVID, and then cut down to around 200 pounds, pretty lean. And then 190s, I was like, low 190s, I was diced. I was really happy.
How long do you think you had left?
So I think if I continued on that trajectory, not starving myself like I had done the 2 previous years of like, if I focused a good 2 years on gaining mass, I think I could have put on an additional 10 to 20 pounds naturally of lean tissue. Because as you get bigger, I think I could have been 210 pounds natty, looking great. That's what I would say.
It's a very honest answer.
I think so. Some people are delusional. They're like, oh, I would have been 240 natty. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't, dog. You'd be fucking fat as fuck.
Joseph asks, craziest cycle.
I would, I'll tell you my own Tren horror story. So before I hired Coach Kyle, Kyle is a amazing coach. Like, I would have not listened to anyone else the way I listened to him throughout prep. And
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I love Kyle. And I think if I would have had a different coach, I wouldn't have listened. Kyle was very conservative with like gear usage. Like throughout my whole prep, up to my first show, it was 150 mast, 150 Tren, 300 test. That was it. That was what I was running for like from 8 weeks in. And before 8 weeks out, I wasn't on
150 mass, 150 what?
150 mast, 150 Tren, 300 test.
Okay.
And that was from 8 weeks out in. Opposed from 8 weeks out, it was just 300 test. 350 maybe. Gotcha. So I was on low dosage, and then you add in all the other superficial shit when you get closer to your show, like everyone does, like a little bit of Winstrol, a little bit of Proviron, whatever it is.
What was it, if you don't mind me asking?
Milligrams?
No, yeah, like what was this extra shit?
Oh, the Winstrol and Proviron.
Okay.
That was it. And then, AIs, but that's like, everyone takes AIs. But that was not like a crazy cycle. And the craziest cycle.
And he didn't give you heavy dosages for Winstrol or Proviron near.
I think 50 for Winstrol.
Okay.
I don't remember Proviron dosage. Probably around the same. I think it was like 2 pills of each that were like 25.
Was this your first prep?
Yeah, that was my first prep.
Okay.
But the craziest cycle, like, thank God I had Kyle throughout prep. If I would have cooked myself, I would have done something stupid. The year before, I did 400 Tren, 600 test, and I got really big. I was like 230 pounds.
Was this during a prep or?
No, just like, I'm going to take Tren. But the horror story was I had gotten it from somebody who just got it from someone else who was just like cooking it in their house. And it was like dark green, like a vibrant green, and like a long bottle like this.
Green.
And it just said Tren Ace on it, like in Microsoft Word text. I have a video on my Snapchat. I could show you it. But like, that was the most intense cycle I ever taken, was 400 Tren, 600 test. And it was like the sketchy backyard bathtub Tren. But yeah, thank God I hired a coach like Kyle, who was conservative and actually knowledgeable. Otherwise, I probably would have fucked myself and done something even scarier.
So what's the horror story behind that?
Dude, just the fucking Tren was like literally green. I had no idea what I was looking at. It was just like Tren Ace on like a fucking bottle like this. It looked like someone had licked the label and put it on like a letter. And bro, that was like the worst my acne had gotten, and just mentally like the most insane I felt. Like I did not feel sane. Like I felt like I'm nuts.
Can you describe that?
I just wanted to have sex all day, every day. I wanted to have sex like 5-6 times a day. I was super horny. I loved going to the gym and looking at myself. Like I was the most narcissistic. I was the horniest narcissistic motherfucker ever. When I was taking that weird backyard trash Tren, I probably would have jacked off to a picture of myself. That's how fucking fucked that Tren had got me in my head. That'd be the craziest as far as that, but
what about your mentals afterwards?
Dude, I got crushed. Mental after that Tren cycle of 400 Tren. This was like no coach, no diet, nothing. I was just eating whatever I wanted. Bro, I was eating like, I wouldn't eat all day. I would take like a 4-mile walk in the morning, not eat all day, eat a big meal, go train, and then just fucking pig out on dinner. And I was just 400 Tren, scary backyard bathtub Tren. Some random gym bro was cooking it up. It was green, Microsoft Word font. And dog, I was so horny and narcissistic. It was crazy. Like I thought every girl wanted me. I didn't think I could say or do anything wrong. I felt like a superhero, but like super villain. Cause like I wasn't good. I didn't feel like myself. Like I'm usually happy and nice and like I just want to have fun and I'm very like chill. I want to, I want to go do this. Sounds fun and exciting. It was the complete opposite. I was like, fuck man.
What kind of thoughts were rolling through your head when you came off of Tren?
Fuck man, I look small. I look weak. People don't like me the same way they used to. I don't have that size or look when I'm in the gym. I don't have the motivation that I had.
Was it all appearance related or
a lot of
appearance related?
My problem, I would say a huge problem is I tie my self-worth to my external appearance a lot of times. And the only times that I was able to beat that was actually a few months for a prolonged period of time, a few months after I had taken shrooms. So I remember taking shrooms 4th of July a couple years ago, right after I had finished that Tren cycle. And I felt down. I was down. Then I took the shroom trip. It was small, nothing crazy. But I was for sure tripping. And I remember just letting go. Like I let go. Me and my homies were like watching Animal Planet documentaries and like I was pretending to be a gorilla and like I found a dog in the woods, like a stray dog, and like it was a fun little trip. And I had some introspective thoughts about the way that people viewed me. And I did feel a lot better for, I'd say, 4 months after. And then after that, some negative self-thoughts started coming back of like, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly. My problem was like, I definitely think that gaining weight rapidly in high school and losing it and feeling like increased self-worth from losing weight kind of fucked me for the long term of like tying how I feel about myself and how other people would view me depending on like what my body fat percentage is, which I feel like a lot of people in the fitness industry have that problem.
So what is the direction of your life right now?
I'd like to start my own clothing company. I'd like to not take a step back from fitness. I do enjoy going to the gym again. I'm starting to feel a lot better going and I'm happy with the way that I've changed my diet to an all natural, like almost like holistic kind of diet and like really focusing on the way that I feel and how the food that I'm eating affects me. But I'd like to become more fashion, lifestyle, travel along with fitness and not just only do fitness. Cause I feel like I put myself in this really small hole that I don't want to be in anymore. And I kind of want to expand into a bunch of different things. Like I have my roots in fitness, obviously, but like a tree, you'd have different branches that like I could do get ready with me type things, travel with me type things. This is a business I want to start. These are the clothes I love wearing and designs. Let me share this with you guys and kind of take people along that type of journey. And then also, I know there's some negative connotation about like gambling, but I work with this company, Prize Picks. I love working with them. I also want to start streaming on Kick and doing like online casino type things and like watching games online with people. I just feel like a lot of people, especially men, are lonely and they don't have somebody with them a lot of times. Like I find myself being lonely a lot, and I would find company if I were streaming and everyone else who, let's say, was lonely in that moment or that instance or kind of lacking direction could all kind of group together. Since we're not all together in person, I could stream, playing FIFA with my brother on Twitch. I could stream gambling at an online casino on Twitch. I could stream watching a basketball game or a football game, whatever, on Twitch while I'm using picks on Prize Picks and like doing that with people. I feel like that could be another really cool thing that I could implement into fashion, travel, clothing design, fitness, and just car stuff, maybe just all grouped in as what I do and not just I'm only in fitness.
Gotcha.
So that's, I feel like, with the direction I want to take my life right now.
Nick asks, has he pumped his pecker with a Hydro 7?
No, but what's funny?
What?
So I've never used a dick pump. But somebody sent me one. I hopped on the Modcast a long time ago and this company reached out to me because I was like laughing at people. Like I had no idea that was a thing. Bro. Like I said, man, I'm happy with the size of my penis. Like I'm very proud of Polo. That's the name of my penis, but I'm proud of them. So I'm chilling, but somebody sent me one. Like I got reached out to on Instagram after that podcast and I was laughing about dick pumps and they were like, hey, we want to send you one. like, this is it. And it was like red and had like a weird suction cup. And I put it on, but it hurt really bad. And I was like, fuck this, dog, I'm done. And it just sat. And then when my parents came to help me move out, my dad was like, what the fuck is this? He found it in my closet. And I was like, I don't know, Dad. Like, someone sent me that. And he was like,
wow,
this looks like it's for your penis. But yeah, I've never used it. I tried it on, but it felt weird.
I have a friend who's done dick things for like over a decade.
I have a friend that did that too.
And he always tells me, even though the pump can work after a long time, but most of it is temporary as you use it and then it goes back down. The best things that he's ever done is the stretching exercises for the fascia. So just like lengthening it. And then he said also at one point, like you can kind of like press it back down, try to like increase the girth a little bit. Sounds crazy. Huh?
I'm not going to lie to you, dog. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're that insecure about the size of your penis, there's other problems. like I know someone who did that too. And he said he gained like 2 inches on that shit, which is like, that'd be pretty cool. If I looked down and I was 2 inches bigger.
This kid gained at least 2 inches.
Yeah. I think we're talking about the same kid, but we'll say it off camera.
There's no way. No, this kid doesn't live here.
Does he do social media?
No, the one I'm talking about is a buddy in Florida.
Oh, this kid does social media, so it's different. But yeah, I just could never see myself being so unhappy with the size of my fucking penis to try to stretch it for over the course of years. Mm-hmm. Like I'm happy with my penis.
I mean, I've always thought about it, so I'm actually surprised I've never done any exercise or anything, to be honest with you. But
it just seems so tedious, dog. If I can't remember to pin, I can't remember to fucking pull my dick for an hour a day.
Someone gave me a compliment recently too, so I feel a little bit like
that's really fucking. Someone gave me a compliment on my penis, so I'm not going to stretch it anymore, man. I think I reached my point. That's funny. I wonder why they asked that.
I don't know. Nigel asked who would win in a 100-meter dash between you two. You.
Really? You're not fast? I feel like you'd be fucking quick.
I don't sprint anymore.
Bro, I'd probably pull a hamstring before I made it to 100
I would pull a hamstring too.
I'd probably be at like 65 yards and just watch you and we'd be crawling to the finish line. I really used to want to be fast. I was when I was a kid, but when you gain a lot of weight, you got to move a lot more pounds.
All right. This is a politically incorrect question.
Okay.
Eric asks, does it get more pussy in LA or Texas?
Bro, neither, dog. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I deeply prioritize quality over quantity, and I would never want to hook up with someone that I'd be unproud to show other people. Not that I would ever go around showing people who I hooked up with, but I would never want to be embarrassed if someone asked me, "Oh, did you fuck that chick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Also,
for sure, dude.
Also, the way I look at it is, I would never have sex with someone that I don't enjoy talking to on a physical level or like a in-person level. Like I'm not down, I don't think, to use like a dating app to go fuck some random chick on Tinder. Like I would like to know the person I'm having sex with, care about them. Like I'll hook up with someone.
Are you gay?
Maybe, dog. Nah, I'm playing. Me too. But also, I would rather be proud of someone that I've like had sex with and not just give my body out to anyone. And I would expect the same thing from a woman that I would end up with. I don't know. I get kind of like women say body count doesn't matter, dog. That shit fucking matters.
Do you feel like your perspective has changed as you grew older? Do you think it was a little different in the past? Have you ever had like a slutty phase? Hoe phase?
I wouldn't say I've had a slutty phase. Like I've hooked up with people but I would definitely be very selective with the people that I would have sex with. Hooking up for me is different than like sex, if that makes sense. I feel like I would never want to just go out and have sex with some random chick that I could end up getting a disease or anything like that. Like, bro, herpes is fucking rampant, dog. I'm not trying to get herpes from some random fucking chick.
Yeah.
Also, dude, there is always the opportunity, always the off chance that, you make a bad decision on who you hook up with.
100%.
So I would just rather be proud of who I get with than be embarrassed to talk about it. I don't know.
College was a long time ago, but for sure.
You had a hoe phase?
As you grow older, at least for me, I think, just... certain things get old and you don't have the energy nor the time to spend on anything that's not you actually looking at a potential at a family in the future.
Yeah. I have this philosophy. One of the main reasons why I prioritize quality over quantity when it comes to women is also, so I practice something, I've coined this phrase myself, I think, unless someone else has said it. I'm sorry for taking credit. Financial abstinence. Until I reach a certain level of money, like finances that I have available to me or in my account, until I reach, let's say, $3 million in my account or in assets, I will not consider getting married or having a kid or starting a family because I want to make sure that I think that the school system indoctrinates your children with bullshit lies. I think I would love to be there every step of the way with my child or children. And I think that the best way to be the best mother and father you can possibly be is I would never marry a woman that's parents have been divorced because I think monkey see, monkey do. I don't think that it's every single marriage is going to end in divorce if her parents are divorced, but my parents are together. And I would hope that the woman that I end up with, her parents are together because I think that a strong family unit is super important. I think understanding finances is super important and making good financial decisions is important. And just agreeing on a lot of things when it comes to political beliefs, social beliefs, when having a child. So if I could be along my child's journey kind of every step of the way, like I'll let my kid figure out things for themselves, but when they're young and impressionable, I would love to be there at all times, not all times, but like be there for my child. Same thing for my wife. So I would love to have a bunch of streams of income, not tied to my social media and more tied of, let's say I have investment properties that are paying me an income every month. And I know every single month I'll make $20,000 at minimum from investments. Then I'll feel comfortable having a child. And until I get to that point, I don't think it's something I'm thinking about as far as right now.
Buncho Wancho asks, the fuck you put in that pasta, bro?
Oh, what the fuck did I put in the pasta?
Yeah.
Which pasta?
I don't
know, dog.
Okay. Huh.
Sorry, Buncho.
Is he talking about your hair? Maybe in the picture I used? I used that one fucking hella shredded picture.
Bro, that was my favorite photo of all time. That's the best I've ever looked. I think that's the best I've ever looked.
I thought it'd be one you'd appreciate.
I was like 10 weeks out. Thank you, dog. Good. Thank you, bro. That picture blew up on social media, dog. It had like 5 million views from the Explore page.
Nice.
I was stoked. I was like, let's fucking go. But yeah.
Nico asks, fat loss or cutting stack?
Oh, okay. Fat loss or cutting stack. If I was to recommend any sort of steroid or PED, peptide to people, I think that testosterone is, for myself personally, testosterone is very water heavy. I feel like I hold a lot of water when I'm on testosterone. So I would say keep a lower dose of testosterone and just add in something like Anavar, which I feel like is a leaner sort of compound and like one of the least side effect heavy. And then if you want to really look dry towards the end, I'd add in like a Mastron, especially if you don't have like bad hair genetics. Mm-hmm. I feel like my body responds really well to Mastron. The way that it looks, that's dry, grainy, veiny, not a lot of water retention look. So like 250 test, 150 mast, 50 Anavar is what I would use if I were to cut and on cycle, being conservative. Nice. With what you take. What do you think?
I think those are great options. Yeah. Test lowering, so the water weight is going down, and then mass always looks great. And then Anavar is not the worst for your liver and other things. So
yeah.
All while getting your blood work done regularly.
Yeah, make sure you get your blood work done.
Plug in Transcend. Look at the bio.
Yeah, dude.
What? There's a lot of PD questions.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty open about PED, so a lot of people ask me that. I get a lot of DMs about people asking like hop on phone calls about it.
Yeah.
The craziest part is I usually tell people when I'm coaching, because I do online coaching as well. I usually tell people, hey, like I don't really want to coach you if you're on PEDs. I'd rather you go to Kyle, someone who's more knowledgeable about it. And if you do decide to do PEDs, like that's not something I'm willing to really control for most people, depending on who it is. But like, yeah. Do you do online coaching?
I used to a long time ago, but not anymore.
No.
Yeah. I just don't have the time for it anymore. In fact, to be honest, most of the time I'm working from, I wake up at 9, and then I get ready for about an hour, do my like morning like things, take my medication, and just start working. Go to the gym, come back, finish working, And then normally I go to bed by like midnight. So
you're working all day.
I work all day. I don't watch TV. I even try to like give myself a time to read a book, and I end up not even reading any books.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Somehow the time just fucking flies by, bro.
I feel like it's these 15-minute cities. I feel like when everything's like 15, 20 minutes away from you, your wavelength is decreased and your time goes by quick. And then like when I was just in Washington, I felt like the days were a lot longer and I could do a lot more in the day. And I felt like I felt better, like I could breathe better. We were going on hikes and walks, snowboarding, things that I felt like a lot better.
To be honest, I do also think this bulking diet is making me slower, like significantly slower.
How many calories are you eating a day?
For me, it's a fuck ton. It's more than I've ever eaten in my entire life regularly. It's 3,500 calories.
Okay.
And fortunately, the coach that I'm with right now upped my protein to 300, and I can't.
You can't get it down?
My cap is like 270.
You just can't get the food in?
I can't get the last 30 grams. I just start farting at night, and I think the digestion's not.
Dude.
I think it's too much for me.
You got to try kimchi and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the, pickled vegetables.
I mean, in the plan is also, what is it? Like organic, some kind of fucking organic yogurt. I don't remember what it is.
Like kefir?
Something.
It's supposed to be good for you. That helps digestion.
Gut. Anyways, Francisco asked, do you ever feel zesty ordering those crazy ass Starbucks drinks?
A little bit, dog. I usually apologize when I'm ordering like one of my favorite like go-to Starbucks drinks. I have two that I really like. I've been liking, actually three. I'll give three. One is a venti ice shaken espresso with no classic, so that you don't have the extra calories. 2 pump sugar-free vanilla, light ice, almond milk, a splash, and then ask for like sweet cream cold foam or vanilla cold foam, pumpkin cold foam, whatever you want. Then the next is a venti cold brew, 2 pump sugar-free vanilla, light ice, almond milk, and like some sort of cold foam. And the next one I've been liking a lot is a matcha. So I'll order like a venti matcha iced with 2 pump sugar-free vanilla and vanilla sweet cream cold foam on top.
Damn.
And I usually do apologize when I order. I'm like, hey, this is going to be a weird, confusing order. Like, I'm sorry in advance. Like, I might ask you to read it over again.
You ever just like really connect with a girl on Starbucks?
Yeah, there's been a few times where they're like, oh my God, like that sounds really good. Like I got to try that. And I'm like, yeah, you really should try it, but don't hit on me. Like you're like a very large woman working at Starbucks.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, like very large. I feel like there's a lot of them in Starbucks. Ordering like frappuccinos and shit.
I got one last question I ask everybody at the end of every podcast.
Okay.
If you were to die tomorrow and you had one message you could send out to the entire world, what would it be?
Damn, that's a really good question. If I were to die tomorrow and I had one message to the rest of the world, okay, I'm gonna get a little deep. If you have unfinished business with someone and you cared about them at some point and you still do, reach out and say something, and also prioritize family over anything, because that's the person who was born into your life that you can always trust. My little brother is my best friend. I love him more than anything in the world. I'll do anything for that kid. And one of the reasons why we're so close is from a young age, my dad always prioritized, talk to your brother. That's your best friend. Go everywhere together, do everything together. If you hit him, however you hit him, I'm going to hit you. Like it was direct, and it's because him and his brother are not close. And he had another sibling pass away when he was young. So he doesn't really have that relationship with his brother the way that he wishes he did. And that's what I would say. If you have a friendship like that, especially sibling or someone that you would want to reconnect with in some sort of way, don't think that you have to, be some way with your pride and not be able to do it, because you only live for a short amount of time and people can be gone tomorrow. And that's what I would say. I would say, definitely don't throw away a great relationship with someone and prioritize family and being able to keep things in a family unit, accomplish things together, share experiences. Like money is fun. I say it all the time, like having a lot of money is great. But if you're not using that money that you do have to spend more time with your family and friends and make experiences and memories, the money's just sitting in an account and doing nothing, Like I took my little brother with me to Thailand, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. And it's something we'll remember forever. And like the whole trip, I think cost me like 10 grand. It was like $4,000 for 2 last minute tickets. A couple grand for like the Airbnb that we had stayed at and excursions and shit that we did. And it was worth every single penny, because that 10K would have just been sitting in an account. And I would have had to pay taxes on it at the end of the year, or it could be a lifelong memory that me and my brother got to share. So I'd say that.
I love that. I'm not close with my blood family, but I spend time with my self-proclaimed family.
Yeah,
as much as possible.
I think that's that's borderline the same. If it's not exactly the same, like something that you'd consider family or friends. Like I'm sure if you had a falling out with one of your friends over something small and stupid, it's not worth, throwing that a relationship out based on something you could work on and fix, especially when they were so important to you at one point.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
I love that message. Nice. Where can everybody find you?
Marco Spasiano on Instagram. It's just Marco Spasiano. Jacked Italian on YouTube, Jacked Italian on TikTok. And I think that's it. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, but I don't know or Kick, but I don't even know what those would be yet. You should do that, dog. I'm telling you. People would watch you stream. Even if you streamed a podcast and then posted a recap.
That would be cool to do a live podcast, I'm sure, though.
Yeah, doing a live podcast would be sick.
All right.
But thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me. And,
thanks for coming on, bro. That was sick. That was fun as fuck.
I'm excited, dog. I'm really excited to watch.
No, that was a really good one. That was fun.
I appreciate
a lot of things to say.
Thank you.
Love you guys. If you want to support the podcast again, as you know, you can rate us at 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you find podcasts, because that helps us get bigger and greater guests like we have today. And then also, if you want to help fund the podcast, we have no sponsors, so it's just my partnerships, Young LA and Huge Supplements, which you can use code Nyle. And then this guy's got
dog. It's your podcast, your codes, dude.
Code Jacked. Code Marco.
Nope. Dude, it's yours. It's your podcast, dog. Support you. It's a great podcast, and I'm happy you're doing it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
But
I'm glad you came on.
Code Nyle, you use it.
All right. Love you guys.
Catch you guys.